Hello everybody, it's me T.U.M, and today I'm going to be reviewing every single push along that I have now that I have officially finished collecting all of the All Engines Go push alongs. Well, not all of them, the ones that I wanted to collect anyway. And also these include some customs, so this is going to be really fun. Also, excuse the storm outside, it is very stormy. Anyways, let's get into it. Starting off, we got this 80s color changing Thomas. You can tell it's very like retro wavy and stuff, and they have Thomas with the smoke face. And yes, he changes color. If you put him in cold water, he'll turn purple. So that was kind of cool. Next is normal Thomas. Just your normal stock Thomas. Nothing to write home about. I like him. Next is Edward. And I might as well talk about all three, Edward, Henry, and Gordon here, because those are the ones that have the most reused pieces and are kind of hard to tell apart from each other if you put them together. So basically, already I can tell that Edward and Gordon kind of have the same thing going on with their buffers and tenders. Like, everything from here looks exactly the same. The only thing I can say is kind of different is their foot plates and of course their faces. But then you got Henry and Gordon, which, I mean, if you like cut off the green and the blue, you can't tell them apart aside from their eyes. And like, aside from this, everything down is, and all of this is the exact same. And I won't really call them lazy because Edward and Henry didn't really make that much of a big appearance in the show. So I guess I'll just let it slide. But yeah, that's Edward and Henry. And Gordon. Next is James. And James is, something I like about James is the fact that he's actually different from the rest. And they actually put some work into him. They made his smoke box a little different, his face a little different. His entire design is different. Even the tender that they have here is completely different from the tenders on Edward, Henry, and Gordon, because this one doesn't have the buffers on the side of James. But I really like him. And I also like the addition that they added the whistle on the cab. And I don't know if any other merch has ever done that. Well, most likely, yeah, but at the same time, like, it is cool that they at least remembered to add the whistle on his cab. Next is Percy. Nothing to say here. He's literally just a stock Percy. I mean, just look at Thomas. I do like that they made his saddle tank a little, like, they actually kept his saddle tank circular shaped, and it's not like how they did the CGI push-alongs, where it, like, just goes like it's a U instead of an actual, like, loop. Next is Toby, and I really like him. He is a lot stockier and big, but I do like that he can run really well. Like, he is probably one of my most well-running engines that I have. And yeah, he's really nice. Not much to say. He's pretty close to the source material, and they actually added the 6 wheels. So yeah, there's Toby for you. Next is the one I've been waiting the longest for, Duck. And I've already done a review on Duck, and I can easily say he's one of my favorites out of all of these, next to the color changing Thomas. But yeah, there's a lot to like here. Like, he is almost exactly close, near perfection to how he looked in season 2. And I think all of his parts are new. Well, I don't think his footplate is new, because it looks like it's ripped from Diesel, which actually kind of would be a little cool in-joke for super fans because of the Duck and Diesel arc. But yeah, I really like this figure, and let's just hope they bring back other old characters like, I don't know, Boko or, I don't know, Trevor. Actually make an official Birdie. We'll get to Birdie later. Anyways, next is one of my main customs, Oliver. Now, Oliver is, well, I mean, look at him. He's just a Thomas that I gave some slight modifications to. Now, Oliver, well, aside from his face, I mean, I couldn't really do much with his face because, you know, Oliver has a bigger nose than Thomas, but I couldn't really do much with that, so I just made his face look like that. But I was able to make his body at least look good. So yeah, that's Oliver. Next is Emily, and I mean, it's hard to say if like she's actually a decent character. I mean, the way they made her, she at least looks pretty good. Like, at least they didn't do her as dirty as Wooden Railway did her funnel, because her funnel is literally just a Lego stud. Here they at least made it a little taller. And they also gave her iconic gigantic wheel. Everybody loves her gigantic wheels. And yeah, it's just Emily. And she's got her number 12 because this is post CGI when they actually gave her a number. So yeah. Next would be, well, actually, I might as well get this guy out of the way. This is one of the other customs, technically. It's just Sir Topham Hatt. I wouldn't really say he's a complete custom. I mean, all he is just I just took Sir Topham Hatt out of Winston and glued him onto a figure stand. But yeah, it's Sir Topham Hatt. He actually, like, one of the things I like about him when I glued him to the figure stand, not only does he stand up well, obviously, because he's tiny, but also, like, if you won't really notice that it's just a peg. Like, if you just look at him from far away, it just looks like he's got tiny legs, which is cute. So yeah, there's the fat controller. Now, next is, one of my less favorite characters, Nia. Specifically, Muddy Nia. Now, I honestly don't really have much to say. I'm not really a big Nia fan. I never really liked Big World Big Adventure since it kind of, like, ruined what the CGI series was kind of going for. See, that's the only thing I'll say about All Engines Go. At least All Engines Go, when they changed art styles, they at least changed art styles. Now, Big World Big Adventures, this is still CGI Thomas, except they made him a bit more bouncy and rocks around and weird fantasy scenes like Thomas becoming a monkey, or James is a superhero, or freaking Rebecca with a freaking Diesel 10's claw or something. But I will give them this, they at least made Nia a bit more likable in All Engines Go. Like, in Big World Big Adventures, Nia was a nothing character in my opinion. Like, I had no recollection of what Nia is or who she is. She's just appeared in the movie, and so she just stayed. She replaced Edward, or wait, was it Edward who got? Yeah, it was Edward, and then Henry got replaced by Rebecca. Yeah. Next is Ashima. Now, I do like Ashima because I don't know, it's one of those characters that just stick with you. Like, I watched The Great Race. It was a hit or miss movie. There were some good things about it, there were some bad things about it. The songs were pretty good. Like, specifically 3, there was the Ashima and Thomas's song, and then there's the Streamlining song, and then there's the Diesel song. They were all good. And also Ashima's role, although kind of minimal, they at least gave her a memorable appearance. And she's pretty cool. I really like her design and all the little paint on her and stuff. Definitely a good design. Next is Diesel. Now, this is kind of a custom, kind of not. Mainly all I did was make his eyebrows a bit more, well, I can't really say angry. I basically just made him more devious, because before he just looked smug. Now he's actually a devious Diesel. And yeah, he's cool. As I said in my last video, I wish his nose wasn't so long. But yeah, that's Diesel. Next is Salty, another one of the new ones that they have. And well, it's like they reused the footplate again from Diesel and Duck, but I'll accept it because Diesel is, well, Salty's a Diesel. That's what I'm trying to say. But it just feels so weird having this huge ass Diesel next to this tiny ass Salty. Like, I do get that they're trying to keep the proportions about the same size, but like, I don't know, it just feels so weird seeing Salty so tiny. Next is Bruno. And in my series, he's not going to be Bruno, he's just going to be Toad, but yeah, it's Bruno. I'm mainly just making him Toad because, well, there is no actual All Engines Go Toad. Not that there was an All Engines Go Oliver anyway. So, yeah, there's Bruno. He's going to be the Toad in my series. Next is Ghost Train, which is literally just a color changed Percy that I paint. Well, I didn't even paint him. I just removed the face because I was going on my ride of removing faces and using them for Percy. But yeah, mainly all I did was I took him apart, took away his face, and then I put a well, that's just toilet paper that I super glued to him, and then I screwed his cab and dome pieces and his smoke box so that the toilet paper would stay stuck to him. So yeah, that's Ghost Train. He runs again as a warning to others. I do like that cousin. Next is Terrence. And Terrence came with this guy over here, and he's cool. Not really much to say. He's not die-cast, he's a plastic one, but he runs good. He doesn't run as good, but still a good addition. That was the whole reason I got Construction Thomas in the first place, is because he came with a Terrence that was about the same size as the die-cast engines. So that was pretty good to have him in my collection. Now next is another custom, Birdie. Now Birdie, all I did was just take the face off of a wooden railway Birdie, specifically the one from like 2003, basically the one before the old one. And so I took his face off, and then I put on a second Terran's face because, well, I got two Construction Thomas, motorized Construction Thomases. So I just thought I might as well use him as a completely different. Yeah, I might as well use that set for something else. So I took the face off of that Terrence, and then I took the face off this birdie and the magnet, and I made a custom push-along birdie. And yes, he's made of wood. But something I like about him is that he's still proportionate with the push-alongs. So that works out in the end. Next is Harold. This is an older variant of Harold that for some reason they decided they would split the propellers. So like this propeller splits. I think it was so that they could fit him in the package, but that raises the question, why didn't they just do what Ertl did and have him face like this in the package? Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird nitpick, but at the same time, I'm fine with him. I like him. At first I was kind of concerned why they made his face gray this time around, unlike the original where his entire body was white, including his face. But I've warmed up to it after a while. I like it. Next is, well, this isn't even a push along, but I'm using it in the railways of Sodor. This is Sir Topham Hatt's car, and this is an Ertl. I only have two Ertls, which are my Ertl Thomas and this. This came in a Shining Time Station collecting set, and well, he's cool. I think he is just a modified car from another Ertl product, but honestly, it feels less like Ertl and more like a Hot Wheel to me. Yeah, like this feels like a Hot Wheel car. Like if there was ever a Thomas Hot Wheel, it would be friggin' Sir Topham Hatt's car. So yeah, that's Sir Topham Hatt's car, and that's all the push-alongs. Now I'm gonna show you my motorized trains. So first off, we've got a normal Thomas, or the Thomas going fast. Although he doesn't really go that fast. Like, James still reigns supreme as the fastest engine that I have in my motorized line. But I really like him. He runs really well. He can pull trucks. I would let him pull Annie and Clarabelle over here, but like he got stuck very easily, unfortunately. So I'm not letting him pull Annie and Clarabelle anytime soon. But he is gonna pull trucks, and yeah, you'll probably see how that looks in a later video. And then here's a Farm Thomas that I got in the McColl's Farm set. I kept him around. He was cool. I like the smug face. Yeah, but they kind of reused the smug face on the 80s color change Thomas. But I do like this one a little. I like that it's kind of like more slanted. Like it looks more like he's looking down, which is kind of funny. Then next is my Construction Thomas, and I don't really have much to do with him aside from, oh, he's Construction Thomas, I could use him for like Thomas of the Future or something. I'm thinking of making an Into the Thomas verse video, so maybe he could be like Miguel O'Hara or something, I don't fucking know. Next is Gordon, which is another one of my favorites. I wish he was faster, unfortunately he is not. Yeah, but he at least can run really well. He doesn't fall off as often. Yeah, the only problem is that he's the slowest engine that I have. The fastest and strongest express engine is the slowest one I have, unfortunately. But despite that complaint, he looks pretty well. He looks pretty good, and I like him. And then there's James, which he's called the Red Rocket, but to me he really is the Red Rocket because bro is the fastest train that I own out of all of these trains that I have. Like, out of all of these motorized trains, James is the fastest. Bro can go so fast. He's so fast that if he goes back end on one of these guys, he'll derail because of how fast he goes. How fast he goes, how good he looks, he's such a pose. So yeah, not much to say. He's kind of the exact same as the push-on James, but motorized. Next is Percy with his mail car. And the mail car I got pretty, I got it pretty late, but I still like it. And Percy's kind of the same. He's got a little different expression, same like Thomas, but I like him. He's adorable, and he is my second fastest running engine that I own. Well, actually, no. Thomas is my second fastest. Percy is the third fastest. And then after Percy, we have another one that I went into detail about in a review, Donald. And Donald is, well, he's pretty, just like Duck, he's very accurate to the show, although there's a little bit of differences. I really like the face that they gave him, the nose and the little beauty mark and the gap in his teeth. And I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I think his eye color being blue is a reference to the Railway series where Donald and Douglas were painted blue instead of black. So I still like him. He's probably one of my favorites. Also, he's one of the few where his buffer beam, I didn't actually have to custom paint color black. So yeah, definitely another one of my favorites. And finally, Train Sona. I just call it Train Sona. It's this puts me in a weird spot. This is literally just me as a train, but I did a horrible job painting it. It's kind of an inside joke, if you will. But yeah, that's Train Sona. Yeah, I'd probably do better at painting it if I was able to figure out how to take them apart fully. Because that's kind of what I did with Oliver, is I took him apart and painted each part of him. But I got what I paid for. It's Train Sona. And this is also what I did with the other Construction Thomas. So yeah, that's my whole tangent on him. And that also concludes my big All Engines Go review slash showcase of all of my engines and merch that I got of All Engines Go. I'm not counting the minis, mainly because I just don't really care. And I also didn't count the different facial expression variants or the different other trains that I got, because I took those apart and they're just used for spare parts now, so I use them for like their wheels or their faces if I want to make a custom train. But yeah, that's my whole all of my best collection. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to subscribe because I'm going to be making more videos out of these guys. So this video has gone on long enough. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.